I remember we went to some Chinese restaurant like years and years ago with my grandma. I think it was for her birthday or something like that. And they had fried catfish, and I was like, oh my God, dude, this shit tastes gross. It was like super slimy and shit. But either way, I think I do like, what did I have? I think I had fried calamari, which was fire. Like, what is that? Like squid, right? Calamari.
Smash Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Sir Bavelli, back in the place to be, La America Superior, Palace 81 Studios. But we are not in Palace 81 Studios. We are in a undisclosed location, trying to keep it low because my parents are going to sleep, but they probably hear me now, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Anyway, what is it? It's time to say goodbye to what we had in the rental. Yeah, so what is it? This is the end of the trip. This is the last day. This is the last night. I wanted to do another podcast episode, but that's all right. I'm fucking tired. I recorded 13 songs in 6 fucking hours, but collectively it was really more like around 4 if I wasn't taking my breaks and all that. So hella tired right now. My voice is still a little shot and shit, but it doesn't matter. Today's mathematics, it is Monday, April 27, 2026, which means it is wisdom and God all being born to born. So when we use our God-given wisdom, we are bringing about existence into our cipher. So make sure that when we are using our God-given wisdom, that we're actually bringing about peace and positivity and not bullshit. Because as quickly as you could make positivity, you could create negativity. I would argue that it's easier for you to be positive than it is negative, but people look at it the other way around. I feel like people be like, oh, it's like, I don't know, like there's a lot of stipulations about people like being like negative Nancy's or whatever, and they feel like, oh, that's a lot easier to be like negative. But I would argue like energy is the same, whether you slap somebody in defense or you slap somebody to cause them harm. It's the same amount of energy. So don't let people trick you into thinking that that's an illusion. It's not. So just just remember that when we are just being conscious of the fact like where your energy goes. But as far as like the mathematics, it's kind of like use your God-given wisdom to bring about positivity and not negativity. Peace. Today's drip check, we have just some Air Max 90s. These are fire. Like, I kind of didn't like them at all when I bought them. I didn't even try them on. I just ordered them. And, like, that's a super fucking gamble. I do not like doing that. I like going to the stores and trying on the shoes and not really taking a gamble because, you're spending your hard-earned money and you don't want to be doing that with something like, like I think this costs like $160 or something like that with like taxes and all that. I don't know. I did get them on a discount. The only thing I love these shoes a lot, but this green, especially like with the, like they're all different. I feel like the heel tab is a different green from the midsole, and that's definitely a different green from the whatever's on the laces, like right here, like the plastic on the laces. But it seems like the inside of the tongue, the green here on the tongue and here is the same, and it kind of seems like the green on the midsole and on the heel is like the same color. So it just, I don't know. Had they somehow figured out to make it like the color of the dark green on the midsole, it'd be like way more fire. But nevertheless, I think this is premium because this has suede and like a nice leather actually, like around kind of like, you know, the upper of the shoe, kind of right above the midsole. So the Air Max 90s are kind of like something that grew on me right now. There's a lot of new like Air Max 90 colorways that just came out that are all fire that I kind of wanted to purchase, but I'm glad I didn't because, you know, I kind of skipped on the Air Jordan 5, the white metallics, simply because I already have Jordan 5, like white Jordan 5s. I have the grapes and the fire reds. So I don't see, and I love Jordan 5s. Like, they're one of my favorite Jordans. I think like this trip really made me appreciate 6s because that's all I've been wearing. But the 5s for sure, because they're just like, I don't know, something about like the fat tongue. They're a real tongue fuckable shoe, you know what I mean, for lack of a better words. If you don't know what a tongue fuck is, that's when you put your pant legs into the tongue, and that's why you're tongue fucking them, in the words of Jim Jones. But these, I think these are too low. Like, low tops never really look good when you tongue fuck them. It's always high tops. What is it? Like, don't even think about doing that with fucking New Balance or Asics shoes. But this has like a real fat tongue. So I feel like you could do it, but I feel like that'd be more with like skinny jeans, and I ain't gonna wear fucking skinny jeans, you know. We'll talk about like the 90s. I kind of appreciate it because it has like a better like air unit, and the upper is really breathable. The insoles are really good. I don't know why I didn't like them. When I first tried them on, I was like, great, like I'm probably gonna return these. They're just not what I feel like. I felt like they were a little bit more like the stability is really like where it's at, you know, like they're just more of a like more stiff shoe to walk around. But maybe like as I've been like wearing them just a little bit more, I kind of found like a more of appreciation. It's a fire design all around, like just how the swoosh is kind of tucked into the midsole. And just kind of the different materials, especially on the premium. You have the suede, you have the mesh, you have the leather, the air bubble, and all that. It's a really fire shoe, and I think these are more comfortable than 95s for sure. Because 95s are more of like a shoe that I would say has definitely more stability overall on the outsole, on the bottom. The insoles are definitely are not comfortable like compared to these, and they're not breathable either. They're like an all around leather versus this has mesh in it. So it's kind of like it's more of like what kind of look you're trying to go for, and then also too what you're gonna be wearing it around. Air Max 95s to me are not a shoe that I would be wearing kind of like as my daily beaters, you know, but people would wear whatever they want. I'm just saying, like, as somebody who's like actually like a connoisseur of this shit, I kind of feel like 95s are more so like going out. You're not really going to be standing. You're not really going to be doing, for sure, no exercises. Even though they are runners, I would never run in those. Just kind of like, I feel like the way my foot is like in the shoe, like how it is, I feel like more, I have wider feet, so I definitely wouldn't fucking do that. I would run in 90s before I ran in 95s. And then also two Air Max 1s, or I guess they're like Air Max 89s, right? That's when it came out, 89. I feel like they kind of borrow heavily from each other. I think the air unit on the Air Max 1 is the same air unit on the 3 and the 4, the Jordan. I could be wrong, but I feel like the 90 has a different air unit, air bubble to it. I don't know. That's just from like my observations. I've yet to have an Air Max 1 and whatever, right? These are fly. So there was a lot of cool like colorways out there of them, but I just feel like it's to pay for like maybe like what is it, like a $160 shoe. I just don't feel like 90s are worth it. Now 95s are like $200 now. I think the only reason why I would prefer those is because they come in different colors, they come in different like materials and shit like that. I mean, it's all like, tomato type shit. But like, if we're talking about preferences, like if something else were like similar to that, like let's just say if we're taking a New Balance, no, let's stick with Nike. If we were gonna go like a V5 runner versus like a Vomero 5, obviously where that money is going towards. You get like a cheap ass version of the Vomero and a V5 runner. You're paying for, you get what you pay for. Like, it's cheap as fuck. Like, the end soles are like not as comfortable, the outsole's not as comfortable. Really you're just paying for the look of a Vomero. But a Vomero 5 is completely different. It's night and day. I feel like a lot of the stock in a Vomero 5 is the outsole, the Zoom, I think it's Zoom X, right? The Zoom X support and the insoles, like, it's just fire. And but as far as like a 90 and a 95, they're very similar. They're kind of like fraternal twins or something like that. As far as how they feel, like they're both real sturdy. They're both kind of like not the most comfortable thing. I still feel like 90 takes the cake on that. But either way, it's kind of more so like preference. And I would just prefer to spend a little bit more on a 95 just based off of the look versus a 90. Now, I'm going to buy more 90s, but I bought, what did I buy? I'm trying to think of what I bought. I bought a lot of shoes this month in April. April's for sure, like, I ran that shit up. I bought a lot of sneakers in April. My tax returns just hit, so I kind of wanted to treat myself, like last week when I went to Vegas and I picked up Mufasa. And that was something I kind of like didn't get in depth of, like, right? So I went to go pick up Mufasa and I helped him like move over here. That was like really cool. That was like one of those things where I didn't expect shit and it turned out to be a great trip. This was another trip where like I didn't really expect shit. I was actually expecting it to kind of be like maybe not worse in a sense, but just like, all right, like we'll just see how this goes. And it turned out to be really good, So it's just one of those things where I go back to always like cherishing life and like valuing the moments and all that, because it's like there are like moments aren't like ever, they're never forever. Like life is a constant memory, so you gotta like cherish that shit. It's not the message of the day, but anyway, camouflage pants. I got the Somos Leones special 1-of-1 fucking camo. This shit's crazy as fuck. Shout out to Bosco from the Mousetrap. This fool had like the paper, the fucking like the camouflage paper, and I used like the last of it, like literally like the last of the paper to make this design, and it's fire. I feel like I should have made it on a black shirt, but I feel like it really pops with the white, and you got to like really look at it. If you really want to see the design, you got to fucking really be like, oh shit, like stop me and be like, oh fucking, what the fuck is that, I didn't really have too much, man, just kind of recapping, It was cool seeing my sister. I was kind of trying to be politically whatever about it, like on the last episode. But basically, my sister is kind of like, she's like in her own world and like doesn't really see shit beyond that type of shit, like beyond like her mentality, which is fine. Like everybody's like has their own outlook on life, right? But I feel like I could read my sister really well, like now, and I'm not gonna push her to out of her what she's comfortable with to try to like be cool with me. So I could definitely tell she was like keeping like shit at like arm's length, but like that's on her. You know what I mean? I've like gone out of my way to be cool with her for so long that I kind of gave up on it, and I'm still not gonna reach out to her and shit like that, but. I'm not going to put all our business out there, but just like, I spoke on it. I've spoken on it before, and like, I have like my music and my podcast episodes about it. So I just, for everybody that keeps up with me and like the podcast and all that, I want to give everybody like a good timeline of what I'm talking about. So right now I feel like me and my sister are like a lot cooler, a lot further along down the line of like a better relationship with each other than we were before. And that's not from my lack of trying. That's from her effort and her interest in valuing our connection. You know, while we were out there, it was like I was the most comfortable person she was with on the whole trip. You know what I mean? Which it's not surprising to me because we've always like been close as like kids and stuff like that. So it's not surprising to me. It's just I feel like, you know, she's, you know, I've actually like not even like bring it to this, right? But I've like talked to and kind of dated girls that were kind of like emotionally unavailable and or like they weren't like secure, like their attachment style wasn't secure. They were either like anxious, avoidant, fear, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It was like I don't think I've ever met a woman that had like a secure attachment style, because I would have been like in like a hella dope relationship by now. And I don't consider like the girls that like, you know, you meet them and like you're like, oh damn, I should have got her number or something. Like I don't believe in that shit. Like I really feel like wholeheartedly if women want to express like great interest and like, you know what I mean, if they really want like, if they really seek that, they're gonna find that. But you know, I haven't found that. I've sought after that and it hasn't happened. So I just feel like timing, alignment, is where I am in my life. It just hasn't lined up and I'm totally cool with that. Going back to my sister is just one of those things where for years our relationship wasn't in a good place for fucking years. Like, you know, I definitely say like almost like 7 years now. So the fact that like we could kind of like share these like really like precious like dope moments with each other, I think was really cool. So hopefully this like lets her know like, hey, like we could fucking be cooler than what you want it to be. But that's not on me, that's on her. You know, I'm not gonna open somebody's eyes for them. Like they got to see that for themselves. And I feel like she knows that already, obviously, or else she wouldn't have been like as cool as she was on this trip. But it's like whatever. If that's like if she's not like that anymore, or like she's like she wants to keep our like brother sister shit like at a like arm's distance, and that's fine. Like I'm not gonna, you know, I got like so much going on in my life for me to like not even worry about that, like not even a little bit, because I like went a great deal of my life, very important times in my life without her. So a lot of people like in my family be like, oh well, you know, you should probably try to be like cooler with her, like you're gonna end up like sad one day. And it's like, no, not really, because like I went through like a very very pivotal things without her, and on top of that alone, you know, I don't think there's one person where like I'll be devastated if we like never talk again type shit, in like friends or family, because I went through so much by myself. You know, nobody was really there for me in like some of the like darkest times of my life. And I'm not salty about it. I'm not sad or whatever. It's just it is what it is. I don't feel like I share those kind of bonds with anybody. The only person I feel like you know, when they say like can you picture life without him and shit like that, the only person in my life I feel like I don't see like my whole life without him is probably like my pop, and then my mom is right there too, but it's really my pops, dog. Like he was there for me, like not like for everything I've been through, but like, you know, I mean, damn near like 8, 9 out of the 10 times like he coulda, shoulda, woulda been there, like he was there. So you know, my mom was right there too. She's probably like, if pops is like an 8 or a 9, mom's is probably like a 5, 6, something like that, you know. Oh wait, but then there's my grandma. So my grandma's right there with my pops. Yeah. But I just, you know, family relationships and dynamics are funny, especially like with our family. I feel like I don't want to say it's like dysfunctional, but it's maybe not highly dysfunctional. It's high. What do they call that? You're a high functioning. Yeah, we're like a high functioning dysfunctional type of family. Like we're not like one of those families that's like is full of gangbangers and fucking drug addicts and shit like that. It's just like I feel like our family is more like emotionally absent from each other than maybe not most families, because what the fuck does that even mean? It's just kind of like an emotionally unavailable family, and that creates a lot of like trauma that people do and don't ask for. So that's kind of really all I wanted to talk about with the whole family shit, just to put that shit to bed. Kind of I always love and appreciate my family, each and every one of them, but I also appreciate my space. I'm like totally like a lone wolf with this shit. Like I just need like my mom, my dad, my dog, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? There's like everybody else is kind of like extra. And even like my grandmas, I love them to death, but they weren't there like my whole like life and shit like that. But that's kind of like that. That's just the truth. I wish I could like lie to you and be like, oh yeah, well fucking forever and ever and all that shit. But that's not really like, that's not honestly how I feel. It's just more so like, my grandmas helped raise me. I have a great deal of love for them, but they weren't with me through everything, and nobody really was. And I don't think anyone really ever really is there for you for everything that you've been through. But that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of like, I feel like a lot of people have worse relationships with their family, but that don't really mean shit. And a lot of people have better relationships with with their families, and that don't really mean shit either. My voice is blown out. I don't even know how the fuck I'm talking, but I recorded 13 songs, and like my voice is all shot. And dude, I had songs I needed to record on in my notes, like my actual notebook, and like 2 of my phones. So that's just wild. I don't know if all the songs are gonna be released. It was kind of one of those things where it was like, all right, whatever happens, happens. Like I don't even care. Like I'm just gonna make music, and if it gets dropped, it gets dropped. If it don't, it don't. There's a like kind of a debate with artists like, oh, like I'm gonna release everything, or I'm just gonna have a vault or whatever. I kind of don't really look at it like that. I kind of look at it more like, okay, does this make sense? Because I think I wouldn't have dropped Mulberry at all if I was ever like super picky perfectionist with it. But dropping Mulberry like really made me like see like, do I drop shit that I feel like people aren't ready for, but I like am I gonna drop something that people aren't really gonna like but I like? That's what Mulberry is. It's kind of like, it's a personal album. It's one of those albums like if I never dropped it, I would have been okay with it, because I would have appreciated it more not letting it fly and keeping it all for me. But there was a lot of shit that I said there that I felt like is a good representation of like music that's not out there being represented, like Zoot Suitors or the song Mulberry, or just styles is kind of different, like Awamas, just real like taking a gamble type shit and just making like letting it fly. I've never been afraid to kind of like just drop music and like share it with people just so like they could listen to it. And I don't really care like if people don't really like consume it like right away. If it's something like, all right, you'll listen to it later, like that's cool with me. I'm not pressed for views or anything like that. It's just kind of, I'm gonna release my music. If you like it, if you don't like it, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm on to the next shit. Like I'm pretty sure I'll record another 9 songs soon, whenever I get clipped up or whatever. But I'm working on 2 albums right now. One of them with like this session is basically almost done. I just kind of gotta like write some more, make maybe like 3 or 4 more songs for that album, and it's done. The other album, I think I just did like 2 songs for it, or maybe 3. I don't know, but just making music. It was fun, man. Today was really productive. I just woke up and like I get like this whole funeral shit, but like I just don't understand like this type of shit where I get it, it's in Mexico, but these shits is getting outdated where you gotta like be there the whole entire fucking time with your family. The problem is most of our family is like in America, and like with my mom's side of the family, it's just like my tia Chipina and her kids, and that's it. You know what I mean? We don't really have family like that. And then our extended family is in Sonora. So it's like, for us to kind of be doing the same shit, it's like, you know, I don't really have a relationship with like any of my relatives over here in Mexico. So there's no point in me even being like fucking for hours on end in like my grandma's house. Cause it's like, this is really like for my mom, you know what I mean? Like my mom's, you know, she's with her sisters, she's like with my tios, they're fucking talking and bullshitting or whatever. Like that's fine. But like me personally, like I did that enough when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I've always hated that as a kid, like being places like I didn't want to be, that I couldn't be there. You know, now that I'm a fucking grown man, I could come and go as I please anywhere I go. Like if I want to go to like visit like my grandma, I could just be there for like 3 hours max and leave, which is usually what happens. I like to show up early if I'm not one of the first people, or like I'll show up later and like, you know, leave soon after, or show up early and leave. You know, my favorite thing is like a fucking Irish goodbye, where it's just like, I'm just going to leave and I'm not going to say goodbye to everybody because there's too many people to say goodbye. You know, when we have family parties and shit, we like 40 deep. I ain't going to say bye to 40 motherfuckers. As they're coming in, I'll say what's up to 40 people, but I ain't trying to be there the whole time. You know what I mean? And like I said, going back, I didn't want to go back to this, but the family dynamics, right? It's like you see people that want to be there, that don't want to be there, that are just there to be with like in support of like, you know, my tios or whatever. But I'm gonna leave when I want, and that's like kind of like one thing like I've been thinking about, like starting my own family. That's why like I really like want to like put myself out there more and like kind of meet new girls and like start dating more and shit like that, because like, you know, I'm like, the time is ticking, man, and I feel that shit. You know, I at some point, and I feel it too, like I want a girl that'll hold me down, like, and all throughout my whole shit. Like I really want like to be like in a power couple type of situation where like I have a woman that'll support me, hold me down. I could support her, hold her down, and like maybe she might be behind the scenes, or she might not want to do like what I'm interested in, but the fact that like she'll support me is like number one to me, because the way that I know a girl truly likes me is if she supports me. You know what I mean? There's only one woman I feel like she like loved my music. She loved what I was doing. She just loved like me as a person. You know what I mean? But I think we were just kind of like too young, a little too immature. And then definitely now our attachment styles are like clearly different. Our interests are clearly different, and our careers are clearly different. So, you know, but we haven't talked in like fucking years. So it's not one of those things where like I dwell on or whatever. I did that for a long time, where it was just like I was all heartbroken, sad, you know, lump on the stump type shit. But at some point you got to snap out of that. And that was, I think with her, it was like one of the things where like snapped me back. Like, I'm not going to do that for like no other woman. You know, it took a lot of years and a lot of maturing and a lot of like meeting other girls to like break me out of that. You know what I mean? Because I was always like, it's like I found the one and it's just her, and I can't see no other girl in my life. But like, no, bro, like a woman is like a girl is just another girl until like they prove themselves to you that they're not like anyone else, that they're gonna be with you, stay with you for everything, the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, you know, for rich or poor, shit like that. Like that's what I'm waiting on. I'm kind of like, who's that? Because this whole we're just talking to talk and dating to date is just some fucking bullshit that I'm not really with. I don't know, like they always want to go back to, oh, Gen Z's not dating and shit like that. Well, like who's to say we should, or who's to say that like we need to, you know what I mean? I think if, you know, now if you're just not doing shit and you're kind of blaming it on like a generational thing, like, oh, well, da 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 da, like that's bullshit. But I feel like our generation is clearly career oriented, like all of us. Everyone that I know, everyone that's like kind of like around my age is focusing on their money, trying to get like motion going on, and like they're prioritizing their careers over like having a relationship. Obviously, because we live in an economy where like fucking it's all fucked up, and a lot of people say like the birth rates are dropping and all that shit, but I don't know, man. I still feel like I still know a good amount of people that like high school sweethearts, they settled down, they had a baby, they have a family, the whole nine. You know, it's just I don't know if this shit is like real factual, some of the shit people spit, or it's just like, oh, like that's my opinion, you know, because you know, I've seen otherwise. I've seen people actually try to do both, whether they're family oriented or like career oriented. You know, my barber, he has 2 kids. He's had his family. You know, he's focused on his career. He's cool. He's getting money, whatever. Like, I just feel like I've yet to kind of find the one. But I'm glad, like, you know, I'm where I am now, so I feel like whenever like it happens, it's all up to alignment. I'm not going to be 60-40 with a chick, or not even 55-45. Like it has to be 50-50. Like you have to be, every step I take, you got to take with me. It can't be like, oh no, well, whatever, like, or you go first type shit. You know what I mean? Like it has to be, relationships have to be mutual, down to the very fucking little things, you know what I mean? And that's how I know, like, I'll meet the one. And I've read a lot about this shit, but it's just like when it don't feel like I gotta carry this shit, that's when it'll really surprise me. I feel like that'll be the eye opener when I'm not comfortable, like with a woman kind of paying for shit for me or anything like that. Like, cause my whole fucking life I've had to do that for myself and or other women. So, whatever, right? It's cool. Whatever happens is cool. Funny enough, going back to my sister and shit, we were talking about, like, we had a very interesting conversation yesterday, and it was really cool. And we've never had a grown ass conversation like this before, but she was talking about how like she doesn't date for potential. Cause I was asking her, like, do you think you can date somebody like, what the fuck even was it? Like, I said that, you don't think you could date somebody like just because you love them, you know what I mean? They might not have like their shit together, or like they have ambitions and all that shit, but you know, you really like them. And she said no, flat the fuck out, which surprised me. But then again, it doesn't surprise me knowing my sister. And she says she doesn't date for potential. She dates for fucking what you have now, what you can offer her now. And I don't blame her, but it is kind of a little like sad to me. Maybe not sad like pobrecito type shit, but it's just like, I feel like no matter where a woman is in her life, I'm always going to be the provider first. That's just my opinion. I've never met a sugar mama type of chick. I've never met a girl that's like that I've dated that makes more money than me. It's just one of those things where I kind of, and this is what I was telling her too. It's like, it's different because as a man, you are like the independent, the breadwinner. You're like number one, and you're the one that goes out and gets the women. The women are the ones that get sad because it's like a fucking catch-22. If they're like dependent on a man and they're not finding the right man, then it's like that fucks them over. But if they're the independent ones, if they're the number ones, and they like they're alphas and they have other beta, and they're like seeing beta males, that fucks them up too, because it's like now they're thinking, now I'm the fucking man in the relationship, and that totally goes backwards. That's why I told my sister, you need an alpha, because you're a fucking alpha. You need a fucking alpha. You know what I mean? And that's the only way it's gonna work with her. With me, I kind of that doesn't. I told her, I was like, money don't mean shit to me. You know what I mean? It's nice, it's great. I can afford a lot of great things. I could like eat a lot of good food. But at the end of the day, it's like I wrote this on my Instagram, like, about my grandma. Like, I have a new watch, new car, new sneakers, all this other bullshit, right? I trade all of that to be a kid again and eat like breakfast with my grandparents just for one fucking day. I traded all just for one day to be right there in my grandma's kitchen, like 5 years old, with my grandfather, fucking eating ham and eggs. I have a plate of quesadillas and French fries with the fucking, the chile verde or whatever the fuck, and because those are the precious moments to me. You know what I mean? Like, money doesn't mean shit to me. So going back to like, yeah, like I would be with a chick because of how I feel for her and how she makes me feel, rather than what she could provide for me, because I feel like I'm number one either way. I'm going to make sure I'm tight. I'm going to make sure my family is tight. And that's just me. Now, we're in an era where women have to depend on themselves. And it's kind of like we're in like this weird thing. And maybe it is a generational thing, but maybe it's just in today's era where it's just like women have, maybe it's just everybody has to look out for themselves, right? And that creates an imbalance everywhere. But I feel like it would be better if like my chick was like a brain surgeon or someone that made more money than me. I think it'd be dope. But I'm not like looking for that. I'm not looking for what a woman can provide for me, because obviously I'm providing for myself. For women, it's a whole different fucking thing. I would feel the same way too, to keep it a stack. Like, if I'm a nurse, the fuck am I gonna settle for, the manager at the Joe's Crab Shack? I make more money than you, so you need to step it the fuck up. You need to be higher on the food chain. You need to be on the board, or you need to be the CEO. Like, like, prove to me how you can financially be like stable for like a family that I'm envisioning in my head. And that's something you got to talk about with your partner. And that goes back to like communication and things of that nature. Like, what do you want in life? Because I know what I want. I don't really mind if a woman doesn't have like everything like tip top, but as far as like dating for potential and all that shit, I kind of don't feel like that's a necessary thing for me as far as dating. Now, when it comes to being in a relationship and having those talks and being like, hey, we've talked about this. You said you were going to do this. It's kind of like, I need you to kind of do better or whatever the fuck, if that's what it is and if that's what's necessary. You know what I mean? But this is just like a theoretical thing and not something I've actually been through. So that's kind of new territory, and I'm just kind of speaking in hypothetics. But, that was a very interesting conversation I had with my sister, and I just kind of like wanted to bring that up. Anyway, before I go on my topics and shit, but so today I woke up. We were going to go to my grandma's and do the same shit we did yesterday. Fucking go to my grandma's. We're not going to do shit. I wouldn't have had like my cousin or my sister there, so it would have been like very fucking silly for me. I know I would have been on my fucking phone all day, and I would have been miserable. So I told my papa, I was like, look, I got a lot of work to do. I brought all my equipment to record and all that shit. Like, just, I want to stay here. I want to get my work done because that's what I brought everything for. I'm going to take advantage of the time that I have to record, and this is what I want to do. I didn't think my pops was going to be cool with it, but he was, surprisingly. So that was cool. So he's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, you just going to stay here? Like, I'm not just going to stay here. Like, I'm going to be fucking working. Like, it's not going to feel like I'm staying here for hours on end. It's going to feel like work. And that's what the fuck it was. You know, woke up, got ready. We took my sister to the border. She crossed the border. We went and ate mariscos. I got some aguachile, which is fire. I've never had aguachile negro before. Fire as fuck. The tostadas and the chips were real different. They were like, they kind of tasted like if they were like air fried or something. They didn't taste like deep fried at all. You know, they were very dry and very like almost like plantain chips. You know what I mean? Like just super dry and like almost stale. But they weren't stale. Like, cause you could tell when they got like when it's just like a real hard tostada versus like this shit is old. You know. So the fucking. I swear, man, like aguachile is one of those things where I still feel like I'm getting like kind of like I got to get used to it because it's real raw and it's different from like sushi. Sushi is one of those things I feel like I've already like gotten used to the texture, the different fish, all the cuts, all that shit. But like mariscos is some different shit, bro. Like the shrimp is real fucking raw, especially like my pops. He got like octopus and scallions, which is like. Ugh, like, you know what I mean? It has that slimy, like, oh man, what the fuck? And I do not like shark or like catfish or like any, you know, shit like that. That's not what like I enjoy eating. Not even fried, not even anything like that. Like I remember we went to some Chinese restaurant like years and years ago with my grandma. I think it was for her birthday or something like that. And they had fried catfish, and I was like, oh my God, dude, this shit tastes gross. It was like super slimy and shit. But either way, I think I do, like, what did I have? I think I had fried calamari, you know, which was fire. Like, what is that? Like squid, right? Calamari. Either way, what is it? So we had mariscos. We went to the fucking dulceria. I dropped $100 on some. Let me bring that shit out. Actually, I got it right here. A hundo, or it was really like 91, 92 bucks. But basically, dog, like fucking, you know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of like snacks. I love these. They're my favorite Tostitos, dog. The Flamin' Hot. The picture's all you need to know, dog. It's for fucking. That's definitely ceviche, but you know, I kind of don't want to show you the Mexican candy I got, but I got, you know, I got this much. So yeah, that was coming on this trip. It was a couple of things I wanted to take care of. Number 1, recording. Number 2, the podcast. Number 3, fucking go to the dulceria. Check, fucking check, bruh. And we got it done. And then afterwards, came here. My parents left. They want to go to my grandma's. They want to go to church. When we came here, I want to say it was like 3:30, right? I didn't start recording till 4:20, and I wasn't done till 10:30. And literally, when I got done recording, I made myself a coffee, brought out the leftovers from the mariscos, and my parents came in. And I was like, literally, bro, when you guys left, I started recording. And when I got done, you guys just came back. I had recorded 13 songs in 6 fucking hours. I took like an hour break. And then like all together, I think I took like maybe like 2 hours. So I really do feel like I recorded 13 songs in 4 hours. I'm hella tired. I had other topics, but maybe I'll do another podcast tomorrow. I don't know, but my voice is shot right now, so I'm just gonna close it out right here. Probably make myself another coffee so I could keep my schedule going and shit. But you know, the message of the day, man, is what is it, man? That's crazy. I don't even know what to say off the top, man. Oh, the message of the day, man, is whether things go according to plan or they don't go according to plan, whether they do or they don't, it's all on God's time, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So like for you to have anxiety about certain shit, how it's going to work out, how it's not going to work out, that literally doesn't even matter, because God's seen everything in your life. And the way shit happens is the way it's supposed to happen. And that's why I'm not tripping on like whether that be women or the money or like my promotion or anything like that, because I know all that shit will come eventually. I don't have to fucking worry about it. I don't have to fucking be like this mad control freak about it, because it will all happen when it's supposed to. This is the God's hour.
Bash Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.